Hey, I'm Dr. Adam Eyre, and I'm with Frontier Pediatrics here in Twin Falls, Idaho. And today we're here to talk with you about seasonal depression, or in other words, seasonal affective disorder. There are lots of children and adolescents that deal with childhood and adolescent depression, but there are some specific situations, and in some of us, where we deal with seasonal affective disorder or seasonal depression when those symptoms merely just come on in the wintertime. And that generally occurs when there is less daylight, more darkness, and we're just inside a lot more. We're not playing outside, using our bodies and exercising. So the symptoms of seasonal affective disorder or seasonal depression are very similar to those of regular childhood or adolescent depression. Primarily feeling sad and not quite sure you know why, feeling low interest or pleasure in doing things that you normally enjoy doing. You may have difficulty with sleeping. Other symptoms can include difficulty concentrating or focusing. You may have inappropriate thoughts of guilt for whatever reason, just feeling bad about yourself, feeling like you've let yourself or your family down. Generally with seasonal depression or seasonal affective disorder, it doesn't get to as bad as having thoughts of suicide or thoughts of self-harm, but you definitely want to keep those things in mind as well too. So how might you as a parent recognize this at home? Well, if your child suddenly just seems more irritable, more emotional, crying, breaking down for no good reason, and you ask them, hey, what's going on? And they say, well, I just don't really know, Mom or Dad. Those could all be signs of it. What can you do at home if you see this with your kid? Well, number one, you want to give them lots of support and reassurance, okay? There's nothing like a parent saying, son or daughter, hey, I felt those feelings before too. I love you, let me give you a hug. Hugs can do tremendous things for releasing good amounts of serotonin in our brain to help us to kind of feel that kind of calm and reassurance. Another important thing is to make sure your kid is exercising. Exercise is probably the best way to battle symptoms of depression or anxiety or seasonal affective disorder. But you're saying, well, it's cold outside. How's my kid supposed to be able to go outside? Well, you can take nice walks with your kid. Find an indoor gym someplace, find a pool, find if there's a rock climbing gym in your area. But there's also some nice outdoor activities you can do, right? You can take your kid skiing. You can take your kid hiking. As much as you can do these things with your kid, that gives them a lot of support as well too, and gives them the added benefit of talking with their parent or with other family members and stuff as they're doing some of those things. Another really important thing is making sure your child is getting enough light. So the natural sunlight is so good for our bodies. There's ways that you can replicate that at home. There are lights, bright lights that you can purchase that you can put up in your child's room just to add extra light in their room to kind of mimic the sunlight. But just being outside in the sunlight as much as possible is going to be really helpful for your child as well. Another thing you can do is consider giving your child a vitamin D supplement. Vitamin D is something that we get from the sunlight in general. And many of us with seasonal affective disorder find that our vitamin D levels are low. We can always come by the office and we can test that for you. It's a simple blood test and we can let you know where you're at. But there's over-the-counter and prescription versions of vitamin D that we can help you identify. Now you may be asking, at what point do I need to bring my child in to talk with one of us to get some special help with that? Well, as with any emotional disturbance, it's really based upon your child's functioning. If your child has some of these symptoms, but they just kind of come and go and they're functioning okay, they're attending school, they're still getting together with their friends, and they're enjoying their activities, then you can safely just continue some of that support at home. But if you start to notice that, dang, my child just isn't functioning very well, they're starting to really struggle in school, they're just disengaging from their friends, they're disengaging from us as a family and just wanting to hang out in their room, all those are signs that this is getting more serious and should receive some professional help. Anytime you have a question on whether or not this is serious enough, we're more than happy to talk with you. Give us a call or just make an appointment and come on in and see us. It's important for us to make your child feel that they are happy, they're enjoying life. It should be an exciting time of their life when they're in childhood and young adolescence. We want them to thrive and we want you to enjoy being their parent.